Okay, welcome to our team chat, everybody. My name is Mary Collins. This is the Shine Weekly Team Chat. And I just want to thank everybody that's on here live for hopping on live. I know that it takes time out of your day to do this, and I know that you guys are just like me. We're all super busy people, so I do really appreciate those who make the effort to get on live. If you're not able to get on live and you're watching this recording, thank you for watching the recording. We do these video chats because, as a team, like, we know that we all can expand, our knowledge and resources for coaching. And it also is a great way to just get pumped up every week, having this time to connect with each other and learn from each other. I know it really pumps me up after I get off these calls. I hope it does the same for everybody else. So today, before I get started on our topic today, is going to be really kind of my cliff notes of the conference that I just got back from. I went to the Platinum Edge, which is a conference put on by Christine Dwyer, who is the top of our Beachbody team. And she does this conference every year in September. This is the first time that I've been to it. And I've been to Summit 4 times, which Summit is the large Beachbody corporate sponsored convention, which had about 28,000 people attended this year. And so this now was my first time going to the Edge. There were about 800 people at the Edge. And I just have to say, you guys, like, if you're looking for an event to go to where you're really going to, sorry, hold on, I just got a notice from Zoom. You're logged in from another device. Oh, I think it's okay. Okay, so if you're looking for an event to go to where you're not only going to get pumped up and motivated, but you're going to actually walk away with, oh my God, like, so many tools in your bucket to be able to use for your business, try your best to go to the Platinum Edge next year. I think they do it about the same time of year every year, like the beginning of fall. And they have not released the dates yet for next year, but trust me, it was so worth it. Summit is awesome. Summit is really motivating. Summit's exciting. But as far as like walking away with a bunch of actual tools that you can use for your business, the Platinum Edge was just amazing. So I'm going to be talking about that today, like some of my takeaways from the Edge, and then I also have some resources I'm going to share with you guys. And I'll be honest with you, I got back on Sunday night, and then on Tuesday we had friends come in from California. So we've been like hanging out with them and stuff, and I haven't really had the time to sit down and really focus my attention on like absorbing all of this information that I learned and all of the things that I learned. But I will be doing that. So the next few team chats, you guys are probably going to hear a lot of my inspiration from the Edge. But just trust me on this one. Try to go next year. Do your best. Even if it's just taking like 20% of your Beachbody income and setting it aside to be able to invest back into your business, these types of events are 100% you're going to get a return on the investment that you make. Okay, so enough about that. A couple of reminders. Number 1, October 29th is our Super Saturday. So please put that on your calendar. There will be one near you. And make arrangements to have a babysitter for your kids so that you can go. These are really inexpensive. Most of the time you're going to pay like maybe $10 to attend. But they're local events near you where you're going to be able to meet up with a lot of coaches that are in your area, and you're going to get so pumped up. There is so much value that is provided at events. So I just want to highly recommend to everybody to put that on your calendar. Make sure that you have arrangements set so that you don't miss the Super Saturday in your area. It's like free, basically, training from corporate as well as the top coaches that are in your area. So I highly recommend that. The next thing I wanted to go over is right now we're ending, I think we only have today and tomorrow left to end out our new coach training that we started a couple weeks back. And then in October, I have a plan to do a new style of coach training, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm just teasing it because I can't give you all the details yet, but just know that it's going to be awesome, and we're going to do it in blocks rather than one huge group that goes on for multiple weeks. We're going to try something new, and I'm really excited. So if you have people that you've been talking to about coaching who have been really interested, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet, that is a really great way to use like an incentive for them that, hey, in October, we have a new training group coming out, like that's going to really help you get your business off the ground and make it profitable right away. So, that's a good incentive to use for people who have been on the fence. Okay, so let me get started in on my thoughts with the Platinum Edge. And I hope that this doesn't jump around too much for you guys, because I'll be honest with you, there is so much information. I'm going to try to just pick a couple things to really focus on. And number one that I want to talk about, because we are all on Facebook, right? All of us, like I think our team predominantly has grown from Facebook and has grown from social media. I know we have a few coaches who use Instagram, but most of us are mostly Facebook, I think. So I want to talk to you guys about branding and branding your social media. And this is something that I'm hoping I will give you a different way to look at branding that maybe you haven't thought of before. Because I'll be honest with you, when I first started coaching, nobody talked about branding. Like, it was just like, I was encouraged to have a fitness page or a fan page, a like page on Facebook. And I did. I started mine. It popped up in my memories the other day. It was like June 3rd or something, like 3 days after I signed up as a coach, I started my fitness page like right away. So I've had that page that you guys all know, Mary Collins Fitness. I've had that page now for over 4 years. But when I first started, nobody gave us like any guidelines on how to use our fan page. And so it was just kind of like, you post about your workouts, and then you post about maybe like some motivational pictures from Tumblr, or Pinterest. But it never was like a thing where, hello, you need to brand yourself. And that didn't happen until probably 2 years into my coaching journey. And then when they all of a sudden now it's like, oh, it's so important to have a brand. And I was so confused. I'm just being honest. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, why do I have to change what I'm doing? It didn't make any sense. Now, a couple years even further, it makes complete sense to me. And I'll tell you why. Because when I first started coaching, there weren't a lot of coaches. And so it was easy to get a like page going and have a ton of followers. And Facebook didn't have really any guidelines on how they would put stuff into your news feeds. Like when I started, if you liked a page, you would see everybody's stuff, right? Well, it's not like that anymore. Now Facebook will censor basically your page and I heard at this conference, it's like only 6% of the people who like your page, 6 to 10% are going to actually see your post in their newsfeed. Okay, that's not much. So say you have 100 people that have liked your page, maybe 10 of them are going to see a post when you post it. Okay, so here's why branding is so, so, so important. Because the more vanilla you are, or beige, or whatever you want to call it, but the more like everyone else you are, and the more you conform to a normal fitness page or exercise type page, the less you're going to be seen by Facebook. Okay, the less that your news feed is going to show, or your potential customers are going to see your stuff, because you blend in too much, right? So here's where branding is so important. Branding sets you apart, and branding provides you that one thing or two things or three things that the other page next door isn't providing, okay? And it also creates, when I'm looking at your page and you're putting out there your brand and who you are, if you and I are alike, I'm going to be attracted, right? So there's a likability factor too when you really show who you are. So I wanted to just like talk to you guys a little bit about branding and how important it is, and maybe give you some ideas on how you can brand yourself and how to think about it, okay, so that it makes sense. Because when they first started talking about branding, it was like, brand what? It didn't make sense to me. Okay, so number one thing to understand, and I know we say this all the time, but I have to say it again, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the number one thing is to understand is that your brand is not Beachbody. Okay? Not even close to Beachbody. And here's a really cool, I hope this makes sense to you guys. If you follow Carl Daikeler, who follows Carl Daikeler? Let me see a hand. Okay, pretty much everybody who's a coach for any length of time follows Carl. Carl is the CEO of Beachbody, okay? So what do you think Carl's brand is? It's Beachbody. That's his company, right? So when you're on Carl's page and you see him talking legit about Shakeology and the Health Bet and, you know, Autumn Calabrese's new workout or whatever, that he's doing that because that is his brand. Beachbody is his brand. But that's where it stops, okay? Because I'm a coach doesn't mean that I adopt Carl's brand. That's his brand. So what's my brand? What sets me apart? Okay, because if I'm constantly posting like Carl does, I blend in, right? And nobody's going to have any basis for buying something from me versus buying it from Amazon or buying it from eBay or going to beachbody.com where Carl sends them and buying it from Carl, right? Well, I don't want them to buy it from Carl. I want them to buy it from me. So how do we get people to do that? It's by branding ourselves with our own special, unique things about us that separate us from everybody else. Okay. So what I want you to think about this week is the delta force. Anybody know what delta means? It's the triangle, right? Like in like scientific terms, but it means the difference between two objects, right? The difference, where they differ, where they diverge. And so what I want you to think about is, where do you differ from everybody else? All the realm of coaches around you. What makes you different? Okay. Now this is where I kind of would get hung up, because I'd be like, well, I don't know, I like to work out. Like, that's what I like to do, you know, and I do. So when you go to my page, what are you going to see? If you guys head over to my fitness page, you're going to see a lot of videos of me working out. Why? Because I actually really enjoy that. I enjoy working out. I enjoy trying new fitness moves, and I enjoy making those stupid little videos and showing them to people, okay? And my fans seem to enjoy them back, right? Because they share them and they like them and they comment and all that stuff. But if I just think about this, if all I did was post about my workout and my Shakeology and maybe a motivational picture here and there, which is what I did in the beginning, what would you know about me from that? You'd be like, oh, Mary's this cool chick. She likes to work out. And that's it, right? That's where it would end. It'd be like, oh, Mary likes to work out. Okay, that doesn't really give you much of an impression of me, except that I like to work out. So what can I do as a person to show you who I truly am? Because when I start to really show you who I truly am, and this requires being a little vulnerable, right? But when I show you who I truly am and I say something about myself that resonates in you, and you immediately go, oh my God, like, I really like her. Like, she talks like I talk, or she sounds like me, or maybe her experiences in life are similar to my experiences in life. So you'll notice when I'm on Facebook, and I'm just sharing with you guys what I do, and I hope that, you know, when I'm talking about this, you'll be thinking about how you can apply this to your life. But when I'm sharing on Facebook, I'm going to be talking about my story with my past history with domestic violence, right? Because that's something I went through that a lot of people, God, you guys, if you knew how many people went through that. But a lot of people have been through something similar, right? With abuse, mental, physical abuse. I share that. Why? Because the number one person that I want to help, like if I could say like, who is my perfect customer or my perfect person that I want to help, is a woman who has felt like she is completely worthless and who has no sense of her own power and who feels like she has no say in her life. That's the person I want to help, because that's where I was. That's who I was. And that's where I felt, you know, at my low point when I first started with P90X and Shakeology. That's where I was. I was just, I feel like I had no control over my life, you know? So those are the people that I want to help. Those are the people that I talk to when I'm posting. I want to talk to that person. And I think that figuring out who you want to talk to is directly linked to knowing who you are, right? Because we all get along better when we know the person we're talking to, or we can relate with them on a certain level. So understanding who you are is the first step to understanding who you're going to appeal to the most and who you can talk to in your posts. But you'll see me talk about my dogs. I love my dogs. Like, they are like my babies, right? So I talk about my dogs all the time. You'll see me talk about my faith with my church and my beliefs and all of those types of things, and like more like scriptural inspiration, right? Not just fitness, but pulling inspiration out of the Bible. And I post about that a lot because that's important to me too. And you'll start, once you start to think about like, what are some things about me that I can share with people that will help people who are like me, okay? Not Joe Blow down the street, not just anybody, but the people who are actually like me. And when I first started getting into this, I felt a little nervous because it was like, well, I'm going to be excluding all of these people that could be potential customers, right? Like, by posting very specific things about myself, it is exclusionary. Okay, so this is not a like Mary is one size fits all. Mary is not one size fits all, you guys. I tried to be for a long time, but it didn't help me at all. I sold challenge packs. I hit Success Club. I even signed up coaches who weren't like me. But guess what? When you try to work one-on-one with those people, it all goes, right? It all goes out the window because you don't relate. So yes, you got a couple points, and yes, you made a sale and you got some commission, but that's where it ends. And that's not where I want it to end. I want this to be a relationship that goes on. I want people in my tribe who are like me and who want to be in my tribe because they like me, right? And I want women in my challenge group who get me because I want them to get amazing results. And I know that's step number one, you know? So don't feel like excluding people is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, at all. Okay, and to give you a little example, there's a girl, I forget, what is her name? Her page is called The Athletic Writer, if you want to go look at it. She is a Beachbody coach. You would never know it from her page because her page is all about horse riding. She's a professional horse rider person. And her entire business is built on this basis of horses, right? And how she approaches people about fitness is, you care about your horse and you're riding your horse. Do you really think that your horse benefits from an extra 50 pounds on its back? No, right? And these people love their horses. So they're like, sign me up. And she goes crazy at Success Club every month because of this. But you'd never know just by looking at her page that she's a Beachbody coach. So that's what I'm talking about. Find your niche, find who you are. And it might not be something that dramatic, and that's a pretty dramatic example. But talk to those people, you know, find those people and talk to them. Okay. So moving on. The next thing I wanted to talk about is connecting. Connecting with people that are already in your friends list. I don't know about you guys, but I have like 1,200 friends on my Facebook, and I've only talked to maybe like half of them, maybe. All right. There's a bunch of people on my friends list that I've never talked to. So these are untapped market, right? Because they're people that are connected to you. They're potentially seeing your posts on your personal page. But so far you haven't made a connection with them. So I want to give you a really quick example, and I will screenshot this and I'll post it as a comment to when I post the recording of the video. You guys remind me if I forget to do that, remind me. But I'm going to read it to you here really quick. If you want to write it down, you can. So this is an example of a message you can send to people that are already in your friends list. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. Okay, here it is. So here's the message. You've been in my friend's book, You've been on my Facebook for X amount of time. So we've been friends for 4 months. And I've seen your stuff in my news feed, but we've never connected. One of my goals is to get to know more of my Facebook friends. I think that you have great energy, or give them some other compliment. You know, I really love your posts. I don't know. So what is it that you do exactly? So you always end it with a question, okay? Because you don't want to just, you always want to end your messages with a question that calls for a response from them, because you want to keep the conversation going, okay? So that's just a great little message you can send out to people. Are you going to get 100% response rate? No. But the people who do respond back, you can get a conversation going. And generally when you ask someone, what is it do you do for work, or what is it, you know, that you do, they're going to respond in kind, and they're going to ask you back, what do you do? Right? And that's your perfect opportunity to just tell them what you do. And don't say, I'm a Beachbody coach, please. For the love of Pete. Don't say that. Find a different way to describe what you do that doesn't have the word Beachbody in it. Nobody knows what that means. They don't really care. Okay? What do you do? Not what company do you work through, but what is it that you do? Okay? So one of my responses is I say, I help transform people's health and fitness, or I help change lives. I help people change their lives. Or you could say, I'm a lifestyle coach. Okay? But don't say I'm a Beachbody coach. Nobody cares. They don't know and they don't care. Okay, so here's another way to make connections, and this is with people that you don't know yet. And this one I thought was pretty cool, because I actually used to do this a lot. So, well, I did something similar to this. And I got a really good response from it, and then I just got away from it for some reason. I don't know, but it's still a really viable thing to do. Okay, so this is, you're going to go onto pages that you like to follow. Okay, it could be Tony Robbins. It could be Shape Magazine. It could be Heidi Powell, Jillian Michaels, or I don't know, if you're a mom and there's a mom blog that you follow or something like that. Any type of page that's a big enough page where they have a lot of comments on their posts, that's the important thing, okay? So it needs to be a page that gets a lot of commenting on their posts. But you're going to go and you're going to look through these comments, and you're going to look at people's comments. Number one thing you do not want are people who are argumentative. Okay, so if somebody goes on to Tony Robbins and they're like, you know, well, this is all, you know, stupid things, whatever. You don't want to talk to those people, okay? Because number one reason why not is because they just took time out of their day to be negative on somebody else's post. Do you really want to be surrounded by people like that? No, I don't. Okay, but you're going to go and this is what you're going to look for. You're going to look for people who are positive, who show like responsibility in their posting and their commenting, and have a professional looking profile picture. Okay, so it's not like a meme, it's not like their dog, it's them. You can see who they are. Okay, second step, that's step number one. Second step is you're going to click on their name and go check out their profile. Now, a lot of people have a private profile, so you can't really see much. But if you can see what they post, just scroll through the last 3 posts and make sure it's nothing crazy that you're like, ooh, I don't want to be around that, right? Or look at their cover photo at least and just see. A lot of times you'll see like immediately like, wow, that person looks like somebody I could talk to. Okay, and then you're going to message that person. You're going to send them a friend request and you're going to message them. That's step 3. Okay, Now, this is really important. Don't just friend request them without a message. You always want to send a message with a friend request. Otherwise, you look spammy. Okay, we don't want to look salesy or spammy or like a creeper. So your message, here's what you're going to say. You're just going to say, hey, so-and-so. Always use their name. This is another tip. Always use a person's name. And they mentioned this at the Platinum Edge. I had heard it before, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. But a person's name is the sweetest sound that they'll ever hear. So when you use someone's name, you are like, in a way, it's a form of loving them by using their name. It's the sweetest sound to someone's ears, their own name. And I'm sure that comes something from like when you're a baby, you know, hearing your name. I don't know, but that's the sweetest sound to their ears. So always use their first name. So you're going to send them a message, and you're going to just say, oh, did he see me? Cutie. Okay, so you're going to send them a message, and you're just going to say, hey, Susie, I saw your comment on such and such a page, Tony Robbins' page, and it caught my eye. You seem like a person that I could really get along with. I hope this doesn't seem weird or creepy or whatever. But I just thought it would be fun to get to know you. And then if you can throw in somewhere in there, throw in a compliment about something you saw on their Facebook page or something like that. But just make it relatable. Like, here's why I think that I would relate to you. Here's why I messaged you. Let me actually, give me 1 second, because I have, hold on 1 second, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so I saw comments you made on such and such a page, and I checked out your profile. It seems like we have the same mindset, and then you can give a little example of what you mean, like, say they posted a meme about, fighting through the hard times, I don't know. So I thought it would be fun to connect with you. It's great to chat with you. What do you do exactly for work? So again, always ending with a question, right? So we're not just going to leave it open-ended. We're going to ask a question. Now, again, are they always going to respond back to you? No, that's okay. But sometimes, I would say at least half of the time, you're going to get a response back. And those are perfect people to get to talk to, because they're, number one, they're willing to respond to you, right? Number two, you already kind of vetted them in a way. They're number one on a page that you like that page, and they like that page. There's a connect point right there, right? Number two, they posted on something in a way that caught your eye because it's something that you appreciated, or something you thought to, or you in some way related to what they said, right? And then you went to their profile. So you have 3 connect points already right there. Okay? So I wanted to share those with you because I thought they were really good. And then lastly, we've been on here now for a little bit. So I just want to share one more thing with you guys. And this is for coaches who maybe have been a coach for a little while. I want to talk to you about leadership. And this is something that they really talked a lot about. And it was really more, I really appreciated it because I feel like this is something I personally struggle with, just being honest with you guys. But one of the comments that, I think his name is Ray. Yes, Ray Higdon. If you guys want to write that down, he has a podcast. He was the #1 network marketer in his company. I don't know what company it was, but he was the #1 earner in a network marketing company, and him and his wife now have a business teaching network marketers how to recruit, which is pretty cool. I actually signed up for their course, and I'm really excited. So her name is Jessica Higdon. It's Higdon. And he has a podcast that he does, and the podcasts are really short. So they're nice, like nice short, like 4, 5 to 10 minutes long, with tips on how to build your business on social media, how to recruit, how to talk to people, all of that stuff. So I highly recommend that you listen to his podcast at the very least. But he mentioned something, and I was just like, oh my God, that is so dead on. And he said, we have to stop like trying to motivate our team, and we have to start inspiring them. And the difference between the two is motivation is something I tell you. Motivation is me, filling your ears with all this positive stuff, and you can do it, and just picture where you want to go and speak it out and all that stuff, which is, I'm talking like kind of sarcastic, but you guys know I believe in all of that stuff. All right. So don't take that the wrong way. I totally believe in it, and I do it. But instead of focusing on that, when you're talking to your coaches and when you are leading people, we have to inspire. And how do you inspire people? By showing them what is possible. Okay, so it's time for us as a team to really buckle down, especially if you have coaches, or if you're wanting to build a team of coaches, other coaches. Start this now and make some non-negotiables for yourself. It's really hard to ask your coaches to hit Success Club when you're not hitting Success Club, right? It's really hard to tell them how important it is to hit Success Club if you're not hitting Success Club. Because they all know, right? They know if we're doing it. And if they see us missing and not doing it, you know what they're going to think? It's not important, because it's not important to you, right? If we want our coaches to be recruiting other coaches and bringing people onto their teams, guess what we need to be doing? We need to be doing it. Okay. It's going to be a really rare day that you sign up a coach who outproduces you. And I'm talking to myself right now. Okay. So don't feel like this is Mary like yelling it. I'm talking to myself. It's a rare day. It does happen. Sometimes people sign up rock stars that are just totally self-starters and they just go and take off. But that's really rare, right? It's a rare day when your coaches outproduce you. So if you want them to be performing at a certain level, you need to set the bar higher. Okay. So I wanted to go through a few pointers for leadership, and these are for coaches. If you're wanting to hit diamond, or you're wanting to be a star diamond coach, these are just some things that you can focus on. So number one is Success Club. We already talked about that. But coaches that hit Success Clubs consistently will become diamond coaches. It's just the way that it is. They will. If they're hitting Success Club consistently and they're inviting to coaching, it's going to happen because you have a full pipeline, right, of people to talk to. Staying positive, pointer number 2. Whenever, and this I know because this happened to me, but whenever we start to fall into that poor me, pity me, oh, my life sucks, like nobody wants to join my team, oh my God, I've been sending out all these invites and all I get is no, and that's what we start focusing on, guess what happens? Your business will move backward. It won't just stay, nothing ever stays plateaued. You're either going forward or you're going back. And I've seen that. I've heard it a million times, but I've seen it play out in my business a million times. You're never just staying stationary, right? You're either going forward or back. And so it's really important for us as leaders of our teams to keep that positive mindset, right? Change the way you look at things. If I'm getting a lot of no's, it just means that I'm one step closer to my next yes, because it's going to happen, right? It just means I'm getting better at presenting my business opportunity, right? Because every time I present it, I'm learning, I'm getting better, I'm getting more comfortable with it. So keep your keep that fortress around your positive mindset, and don't let anybody or anything take that away from you, because that is seriously the one thing in your control is your positive mindset. And you guys know I'm going to say one sentence on this. Personal development is the way to keep your mind positive. Hands down, number one, and that's all I'm going to say, because you know me, I could go on for 10 minutes about that. Okay, so get curious about your business. This is pointer number 3. Successful people don't complain when things don't work. They just get curious about why, right? It's kind of like, I know I've given this analogy before, but be a scientist in your own lab. If you throw something out there and just step back and see, totally without, like, don't expect anything. Just see what happens. I threw it out. Now I'm just going to step back and I'm going to see what happens. I'll follow up, right? I'll water my little seed I just planted, but I'm not going to be all invested on that one little seed, right? Because I know as a coach and as a leader that even if that seed grew into a rock star, but that's the only person I ever reached out to, it's not going to affect my business at all. I will not make a single cent off of them, right? I need a team. I don't need one person. Okay. But get curious. So analyze why it didn't work. Why didn't it work? And how can we make little tweaks and adjustments so that the next time it goes better, right? So the third point is pain and mistakes build character. Do not be afraid to share your failures. Do not be afraid to share your mistakes. It's our job, right? If we want to be relatable and be as a leader, we have to fail a lot, and we have to fall hard, and we have to share that, and we have to be like, let our team see us set goals and not reach them. I have set so many goals and not reached them. It's ridiculous. Like sometimes, and then you fall into this trap where you're like, okay, I have this goal. I want to be 2-star premier coach, right? And then it's like, well, I had that goal for 3 years in a row and I still have the same goal, right? And so then your tendency is to be like, well, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to put it out there because I don't want everybody to see me say it and not hit it again, right? But we can't be like that. That's not relatable, right? We have to be open. We have to show people. Confidence comes from experience, right? The best way to get over your fear is by getting out and doing that thing that you fear the most, right? It builds confidence as you do those things daily, and you're reaching out and you're messaging people and you're inviting people and you're presenting the business. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. You guys think the first time I had a team call that I was comfortable? Heck no. Heck no. The first time I did a business presentation, I had every word written out, like word for word. And luckily it wasn't a video chat, so people couldn't see my eyes reading I had a script because I was terrified, right? Now I don't. Now I just have little bullet points to follow along and I'm pretty comfortable with it. But it's been years in the making. It took me a long time to get to that point, but I would have never got to that point if I didn't step out and do that very first one with every word written out word for word. Okay. So I think that sometimes, like, we look at coaches like Lindsay Matway or Melanie Mitro and we think like, oh, well, they're just perfect. They know exactly what to say. And they're so good at XYZ. They didn't start that way. They didn't start that way. The only reason why they're that way now is because they've done it over and over and over and over. Okay. The more confident you are, because of your experience, right? Because of your practice, because of your consistently doing it over and over every day, the more confident you are, the more confident people you'll attract to you, because confidence is attractive, right? And you're not going to get people to follow you who are stronger than you. Kind of like that same principle with leadership, where I'm not going to have people on my team out recruit me, because that just doesn't work that way, right? We're not going to attract, this is the perfect coach for me. Somebody who knows who she is blessed and knows it, but still wants more, a confident, a self-starter. You think I'm going to get that person if I'm not that person? No, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So we have to be that person, and that comes with experience. failing is the recipe to confidence because you learn the ways that don't work, right? And that's how you figure out what does work. Okay, and I liked Christine Dwyer. She mentioned on the call or on the training that rather than looking at a failure or a mistake in that context, it's better to look at it as a step. Okay, like if I try something and it doesn't work, that was just one step further in my business, right? Further toward my goals, further toward figuring out what does work. Don't look at it as a failure. Again, that's like building your positive mindset and understanding how to keep that positive mindset. Successful people don't wait for someone to inspire and motivate them. They learn how to do it themselves, and they do it often. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so I hope that was valuable to you guys. I tried to pull out some of my top takeaways. And I have an exercise that I'll post in the team page today. Maybe I'll do a live video later today about it. How to further define your brand and understand like who you're talking to and where those things like converge, because sometimes it's hard, like, well, I really like this. I really like to do this, right? This is what makes me money, right? And this is what my people that follow me want to hear. Where the merging point of all three of those things is the relevancy of your page and what you're talking about. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can find my little diagram here, because this was pretty cool. And I have another book for personal development to recommend. I'm going to be reading it next. It's called Big Magic. A few people talked about that. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you guys can see this. Aha, so sunny. Can you see that diagram right there? So right here in the middle, where what you love, your passion, what you're passionate about, what you're good at, so your natural skill set, and what pays well, right? And when you focus on social media on sharing those three things, that center core of where they all connect, that's where you're going to attract. That's where your branding happens. That's where you're attracting people who are like you, who are also going to be interested in what pays you. Okay, so what pays you? Challenge groups, free groups, because they lead to challenge groups, right? Signing up coaches. I'm sure there's a couple other things that my brain's not hitting right now, but that's what attracts people to that. When you can share those three categories of things. I hope that makes sense. I'll post an article on it. I found an article on it today. I'll post that in our team page. But anyways, okay, I'm going to unmute you guys. Whew. Anything that I said that anybody has a question about? I know we lost a few people along the way. Only because I talked to them. No? Any comments about anything?
You want to see most of my notes? You can't see it, but most of my notes are under leadership because that's where I suck at. Sorry, Monica.
No.
Yeah, I feel like I totally suck at leadership, and it's like, for me, it's time management is my problem right now. And I feel like I just kind of lost like confidence in myself as a leader because I've been so busy and not putting my time where I should. And yeah, so Mary, your call like kicked me in the butt. I appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. A good butt kicking is good now and then. That's what I got at this conference. It was.
I needed it. Yeah.
I left there and I was like, dang, my butt hurts. Yeah, it was so good, you guys. Like I would love for you guys to go next year. It was worth it. It was so worth it. Like it was better than Summit. And I know neither one of you have been to Summit, but Summit is, and Sarah actually summed it up really well. She said Summit is more motivational and the Edge is more informational. So Summit will get you pumped up, like, yeah, rah, 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 you know, but there's not a lot, and it's good to go. Trust me, I'm not saying don't go. It's really good to go to those types of events. But they have to appeal to this ginormous audience, right? And it's so big. And so you're getting a lot of broad training, which is helpful. But the Edge took it was like a step deeper. It took the broad training and they went even deeper. And they gave you like a lot of just really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. And there was training opportunities that you could purchase. So I purchased a couple. I purchased that recruiting one because that was so awesome what they were talking about. Like they were talking about using LinkedIn too. And so I went on LinkedIn and I searched for Beachbody coaches and there's like nobody on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, the way she was explaining it is more professional. So you could literally connect with someone and immediately do a business presentation and it wouldn't be out of the, it's not like Facebook. It's all business professionals on them. So I highly recommend that kind of stuff. I mean, if I could tell, and I know I've been talking and I love our chats, Monica. Monica's amazing. Sarah and I have been talking on Thursdays. Yeah, Thursdays. My day today. Thursdays. So we've been talking on Thursdays, but it's just we talked about setting up your own business account for your Beachbody money. And here's one of the reasons. I don't know if you've done that yet, Candace, but it's so important to do this. I really believe.
I actually just did it.
Did you? Good.
I did. Because, I have Modest Threads with my mom. And so I was thinking we have our own account. So when we go on business trips and we buy things for the business, it just comes out of that account and it's not like you're fighting or you're like taking money from the family or your husband's like, wait, what are you doing?
Right.
So I've done it for the last 2 weeks. I just opened an account on my own for the first time, and then I have my Beachbody stuff going in there. This is the second paycheck.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I feel like a big girl.
No, it's, I wish I had done it from the beginning. I didn't do it until January of 2015. So it's only been like a year and a half for me. But in just that year, I had my eyes open. Oh my God, I wish I had done it from the beginning.
Yeah.
So much money. And because here's the thing, when the money goes all into one pot, it's like it becomes our money. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But then when you're like, I want to go to Summit and I know it's going to cost me $1,000 to go with my tickets and my this and my food and, all of that, it adds up. And then you're telling hubby, hey, hubby, I'd really like to go to Summit. And he's like, $1,000? Heck no. Well, hey, if it's in my own account and every expense, I mean, for the last year and a half, every single, my Shakeology, my business service fees, anything I buy for my business, any convention I go to, any hotel I book, any plane ticket I buy comes out of my Beachbody account. And it doesn't affect our main account at all. And it feels really good when you do that. It feels, I think too, it adds a layer of professional layer to your business too. You feel, it does something psychologically inside. You feel like, okay, this is a real thing. I'm treating it like a business.
Exactly. Yeah, because I want to go to Summit and I want to do stuff for Beachbody, and every time I go to do it, it's like, okay, well, I just spent, this much money. He's like, wait, what? So now I have it on my own, and the business and everything comes out of that account, so now it's separate, and I feel better. It's only been 2 weeks, but
It'll add up really fast.
Yeah.
We paid this house. We bought this house off of Beachbody money. Our down payment was all Beachbody.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it feels really good when you can look at that. Like I can say, like we paid our down payment on our house from my income with Beachbody. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Right? Whereas when it all goes into the main account, you just spend it. You just spend it on your nails
I guess for something else.
Your kids or whatever, So here's what I highly recommend you guys do. Take 20% of your income and set it aside for reinvesting back into your business. And really be careful. Like, I'll be honest with you, now that I quit my full-time job and I'm just doing Beachbody, I'm much more careful about where I'm spending my money because, I made a lot of money as a court reporter. So now I'm more careful, but I'm still reinvesting back in my business. I'm just doing a little bit more research into it before I, hop on something. But like that Mari Smith thing I signed up for, I've been following her for at least a year on Facebook. She's amazing. And I heard her speak live at the Platinum Edge. And so I was like, okay, I have to do this. But yeah, just like set aside 20% so that when things come up, you can pay for it out of your Beachbody account and you don't feel guilty. Like when you go to Super Saturday, you can pay for your ticket and a babysitter out of your Beachbody account. Or, even the bigger things like the Edge or Summit or ads, as your page gets bigger, you can start doing some ads to bring in new people, that you haven't talked to yet. But Monica, do you want to share? Can you share with Candace what you've been doing to invite new people, your new friends, and then transitioning them over to your fitness page?
Yeah, I just Mary told me to go through my friend list and just pick somebody, go through their friends and message them, friend request them. So what I've been doing is I've been doing 10 a day. So I friend request them first. And so far these people, we have mutual friends. So it's not like I think they kind of know me. So I don't send the message first right now. Right now I wait, and if they accept my friend request, then I message them and I say, thank you for accepting my friend request. And then if I know enough about them without having to look at their page, I'll just say something like, I haven't seen your kids in so long, they've gotten so big or whatever. Or if I don't really know them that well, I kind of go through their page and find something I can say relatable. And then I just say, I hope you're doing well, and I'm glad we can connect on Facebook now. And then I say, by the way, I have a fitness page if that's something you're interested in. I always say something like, no pressure. I just put it out there, but this is where I post a lot of health and fitness related stuff and recipes if you're interested. And I just give them the link, and most everybody has gone right there and liked it so far. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so you're growing your page, and it's with people that, you have a much higher likelihood of connecting with them because you do have mutual friends,
Yeah.
Especially if the mutual friend that you're using as your baseline is somebody you actually like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like not one of the ones where you're like, I hid them 2 years ago. But yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, girls, thanks for hopping on. I know this one went longer than normal, but I'm really excited. It's going to be fun. Hold on one second. Do you guys have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop this recording.